Wonderful. Our next speaker is Cristina Ramos Horta, who is currently Professor of History of Ceramics and of Decorative Tiles at the Institute of Art History at the University of Lisbon. She is former director of the Caldas da Rainha Museum of Ceramics, where she worked as chief curator and has worked there for over 30 years. She is the author of several books and papers on 19th century Portuguese artistic ceramics and the curator of many, many exhibitions and a long-time committed researcher to this area of 19th century Portuguese ceramics. To mention a few of her catalogues and exhibitions, the subjects include Manuel Mafra, 1829 to 1905, Master in Ceramics of Caldas da Rainha. She's written the Guide of the Ceramic Museum, Costa Mota Sobrinho, the sculptural and ceramic artwork, Manuel Gustavo Bodalo Pinheiro, the graphic and ceramic artwork, and Rafaelo Bodalo Pinheiro and the Factory of Fayances project. The list goes on. She is, I understand, about to defend a PhD dissertation in art history coming up in June. And her talk today is the work of Portuguese's neo-Palace ceramicist Manuel Mafra, 1831 to 1905, and the Great World's Fair exhibition of the 19th century. Please welcome Cristina Ramos Horta.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm delighted to be with you today. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm grateful to Susan Weber, Dean Peter Miller, and Marc Leblanc for all the guidance and help to be here. I come from Caldas da Rainha, a small thermal spa town in central Portugal, proud of its artistic ceramic heritage, where until recently I was director of the town's Museum of Ceramic. As I have said, I have been kindly invited by Bart to talk to you about what Caldas da Rainha has achieved in the field of ceramic decorative art, especially from mid-19th century. Since 1850, an extremely talented ceramist began a movement that changed the traditional pottery. These artists saw beyond the utility purposes of pottery making and focused on refining this art mainly for aesthetic motives. As a result of this new perspective on traditional pottery, but without completely ignoring it, the ceramist caused a great impact in the art of ceramics, which later gave him a great international notoriety and due recognition. Let me then introduce you to the work of this gifted ceramist, author of handsome production of artistic ceramics in Palace style in the second half of the 19th century. His name is Manuel Mafra, his person almost unknown till some time ago, but whose artworks have spread all over the world. He was born Manuel Cipriano Gomes in 1831 in the village of Mafra, north of Lisbon, but early in his adult life, around 90 years old, he moved and settled in Caldas da Rainha, which was already a very well-known ceramic center and where he was hoping to develop his artwork. There, he assumed the artistic name of Manuel Mafra in honor of his birthplace and made for himself a very successful career as a ceramist along 40 years. The importance and great acceptance of Manuel Mafra's ceramics brought in line with the 18 aesthetic tastes, the enormous success obtained during the Universal Expositions he participated in, his role compared with that of English and French ceramists of his time, as well as the path and the evolution of his romantic artwork towards modernism constitutes the subject matter of this presentation. Caldas da Rainha, the village in central Portugal where Manuel Mafra produced his work, was founded in the 15th century by Queen Leonor, taking advantage of the fact that local population had been using its special waters for health reasons. The Queen ordered a hospital to be built in the area. Thereafter, the place was regularly frequented by the royal family and the court, contributing to the refinement of the artistic taste of the local society, which would also permeate a special pottery activity. And these pottery are from 15th century, and this explains the tradition that will explain Manuel Mafra. We can see that Caldas has known the Renaissance pieces that was made in Europe, and this is the first works of Manuel Mafra. I'm sorry, about the pieces that you see, the production divided itself into utilitarian ceramic to supply the hospital needs and ornamental works, including highly ornate pieces rather appreciated by the royal family, courtesans and nobles that acquired them to take back to capital city to embellish it, the court and their homes. This time of ceramic works continued to be produced by numerous potteries in subsequent centuries, always associated to the visitations of the royalty, as well as to the artistic environment of the village. In the late 19th century, there takes place a profound change with the emergence of a style embodying fresh characteristics, intentionally aiming at more refined artistry. Manuel Mafra was the author of this profound change that took Caldas ceramic into a new dimension. The Portuguese ceramist developed an amazing amount of work in his workshop using his own methods without modern machinery or steam power. Initially, Manuel Mafra production comprised mainly objects inherited from local tradition of popular appeal, such as bottles in the shape of a woman, toothpick holders, whistles, candlesticks in shape of animals, such as monkeys, lions, dogs, an anthropomorphic and zoomorphic reinterpretation in a rich polychromy. Right after, he began making more sophisticated ceramics objects, inspired on French and mainly on the English ceramic models from Staffordshire, Minton and Copland. Examples of these objects were anthropomorphic mugs and wine jugs, plates and oval dishes formed by simple or ornamentally overlaid leaves, inspired by the English originals produced in quantity in the Wedgwood and Staffordshire factories in England, Sarreguemines in France, as well as Griffin, Smith and Hill Company in the United States. Some objects revealed a natural sense of humor and were very attractive, since their functionality was expressed through unusual shapes, like the teapot in the shape of a monkey, or the lizard dressed as a monk, with its hands together as if praying in an ironic allusion to church. Inspiration from nature is also present in the use of various elements from flora and fauna, namely foliage, flowers, and small animals molded and applied on the surface of the most diverse objects. The skill of the ceramist, the attractive, careful modeled pieces, and the mastery application of glazes caught the attention of a nobility and high society clientele, as well as the admiration of Prince Fernando of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha. He was cousin of Prince Albert. Married to Queen Maria II, the prince had a fundamental role in the Portuguese heritage and was patron of various artistic and industrial activities. The prince would contact ceramists, commissioning from him numerous wares, mainly to decorate his palaces, becoming his patron. This admiration earned Mafra the privilege of the title of supplier to the royal house from 1870, granted by Royal Charter, a prestigious honorary title much sought after by all the traders in the country. Mafra was allowed to use the royal arms and crown. Initially, Mafra marked his work with a monogram, initials, or these inserts inside an anchor, but then he started identifying his objects with Mafra, Caldas, Portugal, headed by the royal crown. Under the patronage of Prince Fernando, Mafra frequented the court, came to socialize with foreign artists, and became conversant with artwork collections. The prince owned a considerable collection of artistic ceramic objects and acquainted the ceramist to many of the works in his collections, namely the Italian Majolica and works in Palace style. The royal patronage and support guided Mafra on the route to internationalization. Oh, no. And I think I saw this monkey today. I put this this morning because it's the monkey of Minton, and this is, how we say, a garden seat of Prince Fernando, very big, and that is a monk very similar, a monkey, made by Manuel Mafra. You can see that he frequented the court. This is a piece of Oriental inspiration. And as you can see, the pieces of Manuel Mafra are changed. These are pieces from the collection of Dom Fernando. We don't know if there is French, maybe, but they are not marked. But you can see that he inspired Manuel Mafra with those vipers. The revivalism in Europe, the 19th century in Europe is a period of paradoxes which believes in progress, but on the other hand, wanders about and rediscovers the past. The industry asserts itself, the decorative arts received special attention, gaining autonomy and being the subject of studies that confer new status. You have there Majolica, Italian Majolica, and Bernard Palissy works. The Neo-Palissy style ceramics emerges as a clear and broad expression of historicist revivalism prevailing in the 19th century Europe and was ushered by the rehabilitation of Palissy work circa 1830, with the discovery of Palissy work with discovery of the legendary rustic grotto that you just see, commissioned by Catherine de Medici on the site of the present-day Les Jardins de Tuileries in Paris. The fragments and the ceramics and fragments found were confined to museums and contributed to the resurgence of appreciation of his style, prompting the interest of collectors and the cult of ceramists of the time. I'm sorry. Peculiar ceramic marked by their naturalistic decorations in coiled vipers, slinging lizards, scaly fruits, scaly fish, fruits and leaves, created in high relief, influenced by the Renaissance master Palissy, appeared in France circa 1830 with Charles-Jean Avissot, Joseph Landais of School of Tours, and Victor Barbizet, Georges Poul, Thomas, Victor Sargent of the School of Paris. And Barbizet. This follower of Palissy style cultivated and spread this type of ceramics, training disciples of the revivalist trend. Soon, this movement crossed the French borders and English Channel, raising the interest of Herbert Minton and Léon Arnoux. It also crossed the Pyrenees and arrived in Portugal to inspire Manuel Mafra. This is the importance of the collectionism in this epoch, and you have seen. And there is a piece of Avissot and Manuel Mafra. And you can see that it is an inspiration. And it's strange because Mafra, he never went abroad. He never left his own country. But he knew everything in the catalogs and in the books that Prince Fernando will show him. The distinctive ceramic ware intentionally embodied in artistic features, a style clearly marked by decorative elements of flora and fauna applied in high relief, to which he added his very own traits, conferring to compositions of the natural drama a character more dramatic and more fearful. Here you can see that Mafra has his own traits. He used what we call the moss. It was a technique of his own. And I think maybe as he saw the pictures on black and white and all that nature of Avissot and Landais, you can see the color. So, he used this green, dark green. It was more dramatic, and it was a way for him to imitate. It's from Marshall Katz's collection. In Portuguese, musgado, moça. And he used very much the natural drama of Palissy, but it was a really, really natural drama. It's very dramatic. You can see the poor animals. And here you can see, you can compare a detail of the plate of Manuel Mafra and Avissou. And there you find a lot of color. And Mafra is green, is dark, is very dramatic. And now to the great exhibitions. The great international exhibitions of the 19th century had an important role in the promotion of the industry and arts from around the world. They relaunched the decorative arts, giving high visibility to the ceramics and to the spread of the Neo-Palissy aesthetics. The inaugural exhibition in 1851 in London, known as the Universal Exhibition of the Works of All Nations, revealed a wide variety of Neo-Palissy objects by Minton, Joseph Landais, and Charles-Jean Vissot, who won a prize medal for their decorative glazed faience. This type of ceramics obtained, again, great success in the following world exhibitions. The ceramics of Caldas da Rainha had its international debut at Paris International Exhibition in 1867, showcasing the work of Manuel Mafra, giving him exposure and acquainting him with European culture and art. The extraordinary mastery of his craft, the production of even more refined works and royal patronage guaranteed him his presence at other international exhibitions. Mafra also displayed there is the medals he earned and the medals in his publicity. This is the Paris exhibition, but here he sent very simple objects, and right after, he is going to Ivry. There are 4 beautiful objects by Manuel Mafra were acquired at the time of the London exhibition to be included in the collections of the predecessor of the Victoria de Albert Museum, the South Kensington Museum, given by the Royal Commissioners for the 1851 Great Exhibitions, as can be read in the historical documentation by courtesy of Rebecca Wallis. 14 of Manuel Mafra's works are part of the collection of Ariana Museum in Geneva. Oh, this is... This is in Geneva, donated by the Swiss collector Gustave Revillot and probably bought at the Universal Exhibition of Vienna in 1873. Manuel Mafra, as well as other European well-known ceramic factories, displayed their best ceramic artworks in Philadelphia's Centennial International Exhibition. Donner Corbin, for the Philadelphia Museum, cites an article in the American Art Journal of August 1876, which says, the ceramics, after I'll show, the ceramics, in particular those from Europe, were among the most important industrial arts at the exhibition. More innovations had been made in the field of ceramics in the second half of the 19th century than in any other medium. Many of these developments, made by European factories in decades before 1876, were seen by America for the first time at Centennial. And here is the pavilion of Portugal in the Centennial Exposition. That is some pieces that I saw 2 weeks ago in Edinburgh from Manuel Mafra. I think Manuel Mafra is everywhere. And probably 2 pieces show it in Philadelphia, I'm not sure. And Mafra, he experiments another kind of works like this one, sculptural work, we may conclude that Caldas da Rainha ceramics of Neo-Palissy inspiration received in this exposition, Philadelphia, praise equivalent or even higher than French works. Jenny Yang again highlights the Portuguese displays, the humor which the Portuguese contrived to infuse into their art evidently lent the pottery section of their department at Centennial its greatest attraction, and combined as it was with excellent modeling and colors, the nature of which we can hardly specify, it excited our curiosity to learn what historical background there may be to the art which now shows such expression. It is to be noticed then in this exposition there were displayed of Palissy's objects, particular from Rothschild collection. 2 years later, Manuel Mafra, in a show of energy, he was very aged at this time, and work intensity again displayed his works in International Exhibition of Paris, 1878, having yet again been awarded medals. The decades of 70 and 80 witnessed the act of this ceramist, a period in which he accomplished his most relevant works, reflecting the Neo-Palissy and Neo-Renaissance inspiration, reproduced and adapted with extraordinary skill and creativity objects of large proportions and sculptural groups standing out. In 1887, Manuel Mafra went into retirement, passing management on to his son, Eduardo Augusto Mafra. But he doesn't do anything because it was a politician and he don't care about the factory of his father. Though, still keeping an active social and political life, even occupying relevant public office due to his prestige. This is another kind of Manuel Mafra inspiration of the jewelry. This is a very nice piece. This is from Dürer to known piece, and Manuel Mafra, he make this. And don't forget that it was a rural potter, and he increased his work in that way. This gifted ceramist was author of a very large production of artistic ceramics in Palissy style from the second half of the 19th century to the twilight of 20th. In spite of his enormous lifetime success, his artistic heritage was somewhat... No, it's not this, I'm sorry. He was somewhat overshadowed by Rafael Bordal Pinheiro. This is from Manuel Mafra, and that one is from Bordal Pinheiro. I don't know if you know Bordal Pinheiro, but it's another story. I'm not going to talk about it. He was a very mediatic man who made a big factor, and he faded in oblivion for a long time. Manuel Mafra, in more recent years, has been the object of research, myself included, which have gave him due recognition as well as a rightful place in Majolica history. Thank you very much.